Okay, welcome. This is CAD assignment number 3. We're going to model what's on the screen there, which is a bolt made up of two parts, or two components, to use Fusion talk. The first component is the screw, and this is get ready for this, a 1/2 inch hex head cap screw, unified national course. 13 threads per inch. What? Yes, that's how you describe this screw. And then we're going to put on a mating nut right there. This is a 1/2 inch course nut, or unified national course hex nut. And then here's the fun part. When we're done, we're going to bring these two things together and we're going to join them so they actually function. So, yep, that is threading its way up that screw. Okay, so where do we begin? Well, we're going to begin with a new file. It's blank at the moment, but you're going to name it. You're going to name it, I don't know, assignment 3, bolt, something like that. You're going to save it to where you should be saving things. Probably have a ongoing project folder called Drafting 10, I hope. And away we go. So let's start drawing. Now, you could have a bolt in your hand, but that's not really possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up a PDF here. It's downloadable from the class website, right beside the link to this video. And this is what I have in front of me as I'm drawing this. It's posted on my wall right in front of me. So this is what I'm going to be referring to. Now, where do we begin? Well, we're going to start with a sketch like always, and we're going to pick the top plane, which would be this one. And we're going to draw on this plane. So the first thing we're going to do is create, and we're going to create a polygon. And the polygon is this type, circumscribed polygon. And you can read the balloon there to figure out what that means. I'm just going to click it and click on the center and pull it out like this. Now, my cap screw measures across its flats 3/4 of an inch, and I'm being asked for a radius right now. So half of 3/4 of an inch happens to be 0.375, or you could put in 0.75 for 3/4 and go, let's move this out of the way so you can see it, divided by, let's try again, 0.75 divided by 2. And Fusion will do the math for you, and it has arrived at 0.375. Okay, next step, we are going to pick a circle. And, well, I guess I should go down here and show you there's different types. I'm picking the center and diameter circle. That's that one. I'm going to pick the center, and I'm going to make sure I click on that outer point there. Make sure the box appears and it shows that you're actually attaching to that point. So there we go. Now, I'm going to stop drawing circles, and I can see my mouse cursor says I'm drawing circles, so I push escape on the keyboard. Now I'm not drawing circles anymore. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this entire circle. So I'm going to pick these things. If you pick like this, just clicking away, you only pick one. If you hold shift, you pick multiples. Or you can just push E or extrude and start picking a whole bunch too. So I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to pick multiples like this. Here we go. And that one. And hit E on the keyboard, and I should get that familiar extrude, and we're going to extrude it the thickness that it says on the plan, which is 5/16. 5/16. Okay, so this is where we're starting. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to recognize that cap screws have a little chamfer on their top edge here. This is this, so I'm going to put that in now. So we're going to go up to modify, use the chamfer tool, pick this, and you can see if I start dragging this arrow, I start getting various size chamfers. I'm going to go with 0.06, I think. We'll see how that works out. And believe it or not, I'm going to not just go equal distance chamfer, which is basically equal vertical and horizontal like the picture shows. We're going to pick distance and angle, and we're going to change the angle of our chamfer to 30 degrees, like that. Push OK. Okay, so there's the next part. We are now going to turn this into a hex shape by, again, going up to create, and we're going to choose a polygon. Create a sketch on this surface, top surface, and that is going to be a polygon, which is the same one, circumscribed polygon right there. and we are going to pull that out to the same size, 0.375 radius or 3/4 diameter. And now I'm going to run around the outside here, hopefully, and pick various parts of my polygon. Now here's a problem. See how it picks the whole. I would like to extrude the outer bits away. I want to cut these bits away, which is an extrude move, but it's picking the whole thing when I hover over it, and so I do this and the whole thing goes blue. So what I'm going to do is, well, there's a couple things I could do. I guess I'll do this one, it's easiest. I'm going to pick the circle tool again, pick from the center and draw out to a point. And now I've got an outer bounding box, basically, or circle, and now I should be able to pick these. See, it didn't know before what the section was because it had no connection in there. So now we've created a connection, so we'll hold Shift, we'll pick all of these like that, and we will push E on the keyboard and extrude this down. Now how far? Well, this is a time to use that, not distance, but to object. Pick the other face. Make sure it's on cut. If it's not red, you got to change it to cut because there are other operations that could be set on. And now we push OK. There we are. So that looks kind of like the top of that bolt. And the next thing is we have to put on this part here. So it's a 1/2 inch cap screw, so it has a 1/2 inch diameter on the outside of its threads. And then we're going to find out that we're going to make it 1 5/8 inches long, and it's going to be threaded for 1 1/4 inches. So let's get back to this. We are going to look at the bottom by clicking bottom on the view cube, looking straight at the bottom. I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom by clicking the bottom, and now I'm going to make another circle right on center, and this is going to be 0.5, enter. And now I'm going to pick it, and I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to extrude it the distance of 1 5/8 inches. So down in my little window here, or up here so you can see it maybe, I'm going to go 1 space 5/8, enter. There we go, move it back on screen. Okay, so there's 1 5/8 inches, and the next thing we're going to do is put a little chamfer on the end here to help it start or thread into the nut. So let's go to the chamfering tool under Modify, pick chamfer, where you're seeing it already. There we go. And not too much. So 0.1's a lot, and then it hops to 0. So let's try half of that. 0.05. Maybe. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. That's pretty extreme, but because we'll be eventually 3D printing it, it'll come in handy. Okay, so the next step is to add some threads to this, and these threads go for 1 1/4 inches up. Now, threading sounds like it's going to be complicated, but it's super easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the threading tool. So if you bring up S on your keyboard for the shortcuts menu, and T, you'll start seeing it. Oh, there it is. You can spell it more if you want, but there it is. Pick threads. And a little menu comes up here. And then the first thing it says is select the face. Click that part. And now it's going, oh, you probably want 1/2 inch, 12 threads per inch UNS. And you say, no, I want 1/2 inch, 13 threads per inch Unified National Course. These are standards for threads. A 1/2 inch fastener or 1/2 inch screw can come with many different thread options. There's fine threads, coarse threads, and things in between. So right here is the one we want. That's the one we're drawing. It's Unified National Course. So we'll pick that one. Now this class stuff here is all about fitment. Some threads are machined or made very precisely and fit precisely, and some threads are a little looser for various applications. So we're going to pick this standard 3A, and the next one we're going to do is we're actually going to model them. Fusion can do two things. It can either apply a picture. Here, I'll just push OK and I'll show you. This is just a picture of threads, and you're going, well, what good is that? Well, that's just to remind me that these are threads, and a picture of threads is super easy for your computer to compute. So if you had a whole bunch of fasteners in an object like our big robot that we build, if I make them all modeled threads, my computer's going to bog down as it tries to do all the math to every time I have to manipulate that bolt, move it around, it has to do a bunch of math to figure out where all of that modeling is. Well, a picture's nothing to the computer. It's very easy. But in this application, we're going to go back, we're going to double click on our threads down here and open them up again, and I'm going to model them. So fully modeled threads, push OK. And there we go, threads. Oh, but didn't I say that we weren't going to run them all the way up? Well, let's go look at this again by double clicking on it and see if there's an option for that. It says fully thread at full length. No. So we're not going full length now. So then it's saying how far? Well, the distance that a partially threaded half-inch unified National Course cap screw is 1 1/4. There. Now we've got them the right distance. So if I go back to this, you'll see this goes up that far, 1 1/4 inches, and so does mine. Okay, so the cap screw has been modeled. The next video we are going to model the nut.